Hey, this will be a video chart on ZVTK, ZVTK Incorporated. I've done this one a few times, and I'm getting some requests for it, kind of asking about the patterns and so forth. So that's kind of what I want to mainly go over. But both in the medium term and short term, nice little pattern, and I should probably claim that when I say short term, I'm really talking about short term, and I'll get with that in a little bit. But overall, ever since it came down here and bottomed out in late February, it's been moving up with a nice uptrend. That's just easily to see by either drawing a trend line like that, or if you just look at where each low has been on the pullbacks, you can see that it has been putting in higher lows. So from here, you can see that after this bigger pullback, finally put in a low there before the price headed back up. And not to state the obvious, but this low is obviously very much so higher than that one. So the longer term or medium term, depending on how you classify things, we do have this symmetrical triangle that is taking shape. So I'll get rid of that. And so here, and when I say medium term or medium term, I'm only talking about a couple months here. So some people might consider that really long term, or some people might consider that extremely short term. But from my perspective, I'm just going to classify it as medium term. So here we are with our pattern, our symmetrical triangle. We have our support line here, our resistance line coming down, and what we are looking for now is hopefully a break to the upside of this resistance line here. And with any sort of break, we're going to want to keep our eyes down here on volume. The bigger the volume bar, the better. If it does decide to pull back on us a little bit, then that's where we want to see volume drop off a cliff, and the lower the better. Volume can never be too low on pullback days and so forth. And then in the shorter term, like I was saying, we have this pattern taking shape again. So like I said, depending on what your your strategy is, but here you can see we have another little miniature symmetrical triangle right here that's essentially occurred over the past week or so, 5 days. So if you're a shorter term player, we still have this little kind of coiled formation, but then if we extend it back to bigger kind of viewpoint, you can see that this pattern is on a longer scale too. So that's kind of a good example too for beginners. Depending on your strategy, that's why you have to define your strategy. That's why it's so crucial, because if you're a short-term player, you have this pattern right here, but that pattern means nothing to you if you're more of a longer-term player and care about a chart. That's going back over a few months. So kind of went off on a tangent there, but if you're new to the game, always make sure you define what your strategy is before you go into a trade. So overall, as far as supports and resistances go, the main ones are going to be this pattern here, this being support, that being resistance. For some kind of intermediate support levels, we have this gold line here. This is the 20-day, currently valued at 0.0056. So that one, would be a preferable one to see hold if the price does pull back. But does it absolutely need to? No, it doesn't, because if you look right here at this purple line, this is the 50-day simple moving average, and we also have this one curling up, which is basically shadowing our trend line right here. So 20-day would be great if it could hold, but if not, we still do have this trend line and the 50-day simple moving average down here. As far as intermediate resistance levels, there really aren't any. Pretty much knocking at the door of this of the resistance trend line. So if that can get broken, then it could, depending on the volume, it could shoot up to here. This region pretty quick, as this is the previous resistance level. So it's worth keeping an eye on, and we'll have to see how this symmetrical triangle shakes out. But for now, things are holding up nice, and I'll be keeping my eye on volume to see if volume starts to pour in. I would fully expect this pattern to produce a nice little breakout. So if there are any other questions on the chart, please let me know. If not, I'd encourage you to check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and sign up for the free newsletter, you'll be sent a free ebook, and with your newsletter subscription, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from big boards down to penny stocks. So there's something for everybody, a nice variety, and it's all free. We've been making some good money together, so I'd encourage you to stop by, check it out, and sign up, and just kind of give it a try. One more time, this was ZVTK, Thanks for listening.